The game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football?
Your sports leader, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and WCSL Cherryville Gastonia.
chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Shock Joxx here, presented by KTC Broadcasting, live from Cherryville, North Carolina. Hunter Yancey here along with Kevin Hastings. And it is Monday, January 25th. January, as fast as it came, it's almost gone already.
This year is 1/12 over.
Already.
Only 300 in about 20 days to Christmas.
Really? That's all it has? That's it. That's it.
Only
Only.
about 300 some days till Christmas.
That's all I have to do.
Say 25 minus 5, 30, 335 days to Christmas, Hunter.
I can't wait. Get us there.
Tell my kids that.
Yeah.
They'll get excited right now.
Oh my God, Santa!
Speaking of live, you ever heard of the band Live?
No,
Really?
not the band live.
That's just the name of the band.
No.
Back in the 90s, there was a band. There's probably, I would say 3 to 5 songs you would like. Like, pretty good songs. Their name was Live, and the joke was, I'm going to go see Live.
Yeah.
Live in a concert.
Live.
I'm going to go see Live in a concert.
Live. We'll do it live.
The songs you need to look up, Lightning Crashes. The Dolphins Cry. That one. Your girlfriend will like that one. And then there's another one. There's 3 of them. They're really good. But they pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty neat little band. I did hear, I know you're a Linkin Park fan.
Yeah.
And I was just flipping through when I get bored, and sometimes on the YouTube or something, I've watched everything that I can, because I've cut the cable. I'll flip through. I'll watch music or listen to music and check out some lyrics and stuff, and just going through some old rap that I liked and everything. And it come across a Linkin Busta Rhymes mashup.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Is it the one, Linkin Park Busta Rhymes? I know the one. I know the Numb one that they did with Jay-Z.
Right.
Numb Encore.
Now, like I'm saying, I don't know if this was an actual collaboration or somebody just did this.
Just mashed it up. I've heard some stuff where someone's just mashed stuff together, and I thought, I was like, dang, this is perfect.
It sounds outstanding.
This is perfect.
It's
They
Together we made it. We're gonna get it through it all. What's that song? Together we made it. Even our backs up against the wall. What song is that?
I don't know.
God.
Oh wait. This says Busta Rhymes featuring Linkin Park.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, we made it.
Yeah. You heard that one yet?
No.
Have you really never heard that one?
No.
Wow.
But
that was on a Madden. That's why when I hit it, I played it. I'm like, Hunter has never mentioned that to me before.
No. Well, that's because
So
it's Busta Rhymes.
No, without the Busta Rhymes part, have you heard that song?
No.
That's what I'm asking.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Wow.
See, no. And that's what I mean by this is Busta Rhymes featuring Linkin Park. The ones that I've heard, it was Linkin Park featuring somebody else. Like Linkin
Wonder
Park.
if that was just when they just came out.
Maybe.
Does it have a year on it right there?
2009. So not really. This has been a few years, but because with Linkin Park is one of the few bands that I know, or just artists that I know, that remixed one of their own albums.
Okay. I will say this.
And that's where I was like, have I missed that? It wasn't on, because Reanimation is the remix to the Hybrid Theory album. They remixed it and had other rappers come on there with them, and they did that themselves. But I was like, I had never heard that song before we made. Now you say it's on a Madden. I bet you if I play it and might hear it, I might recognize it, but I didn't know that was them.
In fact, the fact you just said that right there, I knew the song.
Right.
I didn't know it was them until I saw it labeled that way on the YouTube when I was flipping through. I was like, I don't remember Lincoln and Busta.
Okay.
Because I'm a big Busta fan.
Right.
I like Busta Rhymes.
Now, let me see if I can blow your mind with this. So, 10% luck, 20% skill, the Fort Minor song, right? You don't know that song?
Maybe not.
It's like 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power. I'm not trying to get DMCA'd right now.
Was that in
But it's like 100% reason to remember the name, and it's like.
So I was thinking about that DMCA stuff the other day,
right?
About how do these people do the reaction videos, and all, because they'll play the whole song. Mm-hmm. Like I saw one the other day. He stopped it once.
Right.
He stopped the song one time. It was actually the reason I watched it was a composer watching Tool. Right. And he was just like, well, if you've never heard Tool, and you're a composer or someone who knows music, you'll hear that and be like, that's completely different than most rock bands. It's just not even close to the same. And do you know how Maynard does his lyrics? No. So how about the band makes the album without him?
Okay. So they make the sound, but he does the lyrics. They basically
give him 12 instrumentals or whatever it is.
And he just does
without
the lyrics.
they don't have a clue what he's about to sing about, and he don't have a clue what he's about to listen to. Right. And he listens to it and then writes the words.
But what I was getting with
that right there,
I didn't know this, but a lot of people don't know. They'll recognize if you played sports and it's that one song. It's called "Remember the Name," and it's a Fort Minor song, and you play it, and it's the 10% luck, 20% skill, and like kids at least my age and a little bit older, they know the song. They know it's about Fort Minor, and then I look at them and say, "Well, did you know that Fort Minor is also a part of a rock band?" And they say, "What do you mean?" I said, "That's Mike Shinoda, the rapper in Linkin Park. That he's in Linkin Park, but he's also Fort Minor." So that blows people's minds sometimes. I'm like, yeah, he has a rap career that he has on the side as well.
With music, I've found over the years, Hunter, is that it's almost like talking to people who don't watch sports. Sometimes is that you'll like. My favorite example is in high school when Madonna came out with American Pie, and one of the cheerleaders sitting right next to him. Have y'all heard her new song, American Pie? I was like, it was great 37 years ago when Don McLean released it.
They don't realize it's a remade.
This is an American classic. But that's what's so bad about it.
Right.
It was an American classic. Like everybody in the world pretty much should have known that song at that point.
Oh, well, that was like, what was it, a few years ago? Kanye West made a song and had Paul McCartney on it, and they said, who is this Paul McCartney person? I was like, are you kidding me?
One of my favorite tweets in that situation was someone saying that Kanye is going to make this old dude famous.
As if Paul McCartney isn't already just famous for being a part of, I don't know, one of the most historic rock bands of all time, the Beatles.
What's funny when they said that, and like what you just said, I'm like, because I studied the Beatles. I went to England for this.
Right.
The fact of the matter is that someone that doesn't even know who, what is Paul McCartney and thinks that Kanye
would make him
is going to make him famous. Like, fuck. Like, just I don't think it's like, and it's not you, Hunter. It's part of your generation or whatever. But it's the whole. Like, if it has a 19 in front of it,
they don't know it.
Don't know, don't care, don't give a flying fuck. So our generation was, If it was in black and white, we don't care.
Right.
But we at least like, holy to God, I know like from 60s music on, like, and listen to different channels and different stations. And
well, I enjoyed, in the area
That's
that we're
so funny.
in, what is it? Is it 99.7, the Fox? Which one is the Fox with John Boy and Billy in the mornings? See, and that's where I was really introduced, besides just through my mom, like, 70s,
Classic
80s
rock.
classic rock,
95, 70s.
big hair bands. And then, of course, my aunt was really she got into rap when it was young, and so Sugar Hill Gang and all them. And so I like to think I have a diverse kind of taste for music, but it's one of those things where it's like, you're right. A lot of kids my age, they don't know any of that.
Well, you know what I was watching when I texted you the other night to make money? Hit 'em up just came on. I was jamming in the garage.
Make money.
That's what I'm like.
I played that
said something
song
yeah.
with my girlfriend in the car. What was it, yesterday? Or maybe the day that you sent that to us. And she was like, I was like, do you know this song? She was like, yeah, I know it. And I was like, good. First off, I was like,
This is what I said something to Tanner the other day. I said something like, I was like, dude, I grew up in gangster rap. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all
Right.
kids.
right. They talk about just drinking lean and ODing half the time.
And every song we're listening to growing up is like, I'm about to fuck your bitch and kill everybody in your family.
Jeez. It's very different. It's very different. But you're right. I mean, I
yeah.
enjoy 90s rock. I really do.
Yeah.
Early 2000s rock I love. But a lot of people are like, well, that's just grunge. I'm like, there is better music outside of grunge in that time. It's not just Nirvana that they want to hold on to. And I can't stand it. They got like one good song.
They've got more than that. But
Well, to me,
Yeah.
I think I only enjoy one song by them.
I enjoy there's about 5 or 6 I like, but to like it to me, I know we're on a sports show, folks, but this is a radio station. To me, the guys that were killed earlier were it seems like made bigger than they actually were.
Kurt Cobain. We can just say it.
Yeah, him, Biggie, Puffy. Like, if you put them in a room, like a lot of people might say Biggie, but nobody's gonna say Puffy's one of the best rappers. So he's a good producer. But yeah, some of those I you hate to say things about certain people, but like I thought Pearl Jam was a better band than Nirvana. A lot of people did. You're talking about up there in the early 2000s. I talking to Chris Nelson a few weeks back about when did rock and roll die and kind of getting to that. And I was thinking like shows that we could have on our station and stuff. Just thinking about that, I'm like, rock and roll is now oldies.
Yeah.
Rock music is like
Because now it's alternative, really.
like who's the top 5 like rock bands right now?
Right now, I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you.
Okay, and you're 24.
Yeah, almost be 25. I couldn't tell you who the top 5 rock bands are right now.
I don't know if
because
it's so sad.
Because I don't know how they classify like what a rock band would
Yeah.
be now. You got 2 guys up there with synthesizers making sound, and it sounds like rock. But
Right, and we were
no.
talking. We was talking a few months back about where these bands rank. We had our all-time bands and whatnot, and the rock stuff kind of. Let's put it this way: if I said Korn and Linkin Park, name one good band after them.
I mean, they both fall.
Black Keys.
They both fall under alternative.
I'm talking about anybody that plays.
Listen, now I'll say this.
You can call it alternative. I'm talking about in general, rock and roll, the whole genre.
I
We're playing
like,
guitars.
and
We're
people
playing
think,
drums.
and people think it's crazy. I like Imagine Dragons. I think they've made good music. I think
Okay.
they have. And I was about to say, Green Day came before them,
Oh,
so
yeah,
they're before them. So I can't say Green Day because that's a staple.
In the last 10 years, who's came out here with some guitars and drums and gave us some great music? And I can't think of
I can't, but it's mostly because
like Disturbed does remakes.
yeah, they do a lot of covers. God, they do a lot of covers, but they're great covers. But it's mostly because if you think about it, rock music is not portrayed in pop culture anymore. It's not. If it's not dance music now or rap or hip hop, like it's just not portrayed.
So we had TRL, which is Total Request Live, and that was kind of that introduced the rock and roll to the mainstream to where Metallica and Korn they were already kind of letting you in on some Nirvana and stuff, but that stuff that allowed it to get into mainstream, and since then, and since the MTV and all that's quit that stuff, it's just kind of weird. And I heard that song the other day, and I kind of wanted to mention it, and
I'm trying to
see what you thought,
because I have to double check. I'm pretty sure Linkin Park was established in like the 90s,
a cartoon of
and then
Charles Barkley playing Godzilla. Because the Godzilla King Kong movie.
Have
came
you
out.
seen?
I haven't seen.
Have you?
I haven't seen any of the trailers or anything.
I'm so excited.
But the
dude, like I am.
The cartoon, because people were just putting, making memes and stuff. There was a Barkley versus Godzilla one that just had me crying, laughing. it was so corny, but it was so good.
I'm telling you, man, it was
so good.
Have you seen the latest Godzillas that this is supposed to go along with?
No.
So it goes with the Godzilla movie that came out in 2014, Kong Skull Island, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters, which came out like a year and a half or 2 years ago. Okay. This is supposed to go along with it. Let me tell you something. If you haven't seen them, like you might not be into Godzilla, they've done a great job with this. Okay. They've done. I'm so excited for this movie. It's not even funny. So
I want to. Oh, I don't know. Nah.
What?
I was just getting in further away from sports. I was just kind of.
Well, I mean,
folks,
if you think about it, sports, it's almost in a dull time because it's still early NBA, and we only have 2 games really to review for football because football's almost over, and baseball doesn't start until really April.
How's your Tar Heels?
Decent. They're on a 5. I think they've won 5 out of their last 6.
As in Blue Devils.
Bad. They're bad.
How about we start there?
Okay, let's start there. We'll jump into sports right here.
You can't spell Shasheshki without the word cry.
True.
Right?
It's very true.
Right, true. You can't spell Cruiserooski without the word cry.
He's become a. I think with age.
Ain't no become.
I think just with age, he's become even more crotchety.
He's always been what he is. And it's one of these things, Hunter, where when you win, nobody cares. Mm-hmm. When you win, you can be the biggest jerk, the most uppity person in the world. Look at Nick Saban. Look how Dabo acts, talking about other programs. Coach K will talk about other players. And if God forbid, if someone mentioned one of his players in a post conference, he would lose his mind. And you're looking at this past few. Right now, he's 5-5. He had 3 top 10 picks on a team just a few years ago and didn't even make the Final Four. Huh. And so, what point are we looking at? What in the world is my son doing? I don't even know what that was. That was like the most dopey walk ever. Like he was so sad. Like, I don't know why. But so a couple of things about Coach K. If you watch on TV, they're the only team that puts their bench on the home side of the court. Mm. And for years I've pointed out this, people are like, I don't even notice it. I don't even know why. Well, because if you'll notice where the coaches are on TV, they're at the top of the screen, jumping up and down,
everything that they're doing,
taking off their coats, screaming at the refs, yelling at the refs. You can see everything. So Coach K moved his benches to the other side so the TV cameras wouldn't catch him doing everything and screaming at the refs the whole game, screaming at everybody. And the profanity. Like, you can sit there and read it on TV. You can read his lips. Mm-hmm. Like, he says the F word every 5 words, it seems like. But just people, Hunter, you're a Tar Heel fan, so you understand everything I'm trying to say or getting at. Mm-hmm. People not from here see a basketball coach, see an Olympian coach, an Olympic basketball coach,
multiple gold medals,
multiple players like. They see people not from North Carolina see Duke versus North Carolina, and then a lot of people are there. Let's say, Hunter, let's say if you went to Texas and you rounded up all the Duke, North Carolina fans, it would be 50-50, I think. But if you went to North Carolina and rounded up all the North Carolina fans, there's more North Carolina fans
in the state of North Carolina.
In the state, and it's not even close.
It's not close. It's not close. And I can promise you, there could possibly be even more NC State fans in the state than Duke fans.
Because, and it's not. Do people hate Roy Williams?
I don't think they hate,
unless you're a Duke fan. But people really do hate
Coach K.
There is
as a Carolina fan, obviously we can speak on this because we've seen it, and that's the same thing with Duke. Why my mother, as an NC State fan, hates Duke is because there's an arrogance around Duke.
Right.
That's not like I can be fun like a play arrogant when it comes to North Carolina because it's easy with the acronym. I can literally look at you and say it's the University of National Champions, UNC. That's about it. But you go around a Duke fan, it is almost like they think they're just elitists. See, I'm serious, and the school as a whole portrays that as well. Private, only the select few can come in here. Medical school, I know North Carolina's a medical school too, but Coach K really doesn't help your image. I like Cutcliffe, the coach of Duke, more.
Football.
Yeah, if he was the face of Duke, I think they'd be fine. Cutcliffe, he's the one that coached the Mannings growing up. I think they'd be fine. But with Coach K as basically your poster boy for the university is horrible. It's horrible.
Have you ever seen refs or anybody be like come out and be like, Coach K is really nice to us?
No. I will never forget, what was it, last year or the year before when he went out on the court. Well, it could have been last year. It might have been the year prior, though. He went out on the court and basically cussed out the student section.
Yeah, because they taunted one of the players from the other team. What did he do? He transferred or he fouled? I don't know. He did foul out, got hurt.
Something like that.
Something that he didn't like, and he goes, "We don't do that." I
What?
remember going, "Oh, he had transferred from Duke." And he was mad. He said he's one of our own.
No, it was the coach.
It was the coach.
It was the coach.
It was like Chris Collins or something like that. He's like, he's one of our own. Like, right now, no, he's not. We're at war, first of all. Two, so it's okay to yell obscenities at Roy Williams and Dean, but it's not okay to rub at Chris Collins? There's a little double standards there. So anyway, they just do a lot of things that they're jerk moves, and he basically
it's weird because
he got smart with a student reporter for no reason.
Right, he did get smart with a student reporter for no reason, and you hit the nail right on the head with a hammer when you said you can look past it when you're winning, but he's losing,
right?
And it's showing, and you can see it in his interviews. And for God's sakes, he was a few weeks ago was quoted for saying cancel the NCAA tournament would be better for the kids. I'm like, oh, is it?
How many different places has he been? He's been. Let's let all 200 teams in. Let's all go to a bubble. Let's cancel it. I don't know if Duke should play any more games. As soon as he starts having a losing record, everybody knows it. And will this not tank?
What was it? It was the Alabama head basketball coach that said, do you think he would be saying this if he loses? If
he was 10-0?
Yeah, right. No.
If he was number one right now.
No.
Coach K wouldn't have said nothing.
Nothing. He would be pushing for the NCAA tournament because he would be like, yes, we have an opportunity to win a championship.
3 straight ACC losses at Virginia. Tell me, listen, what's familiar, Hunter? At Virginia Tech, at Pittsburgh, at Louisville,
all on the road.
Now, we for years people have said that the Patriots have an advantage at home. Coach K's got an advantage at home. I haven't figured out what it is. I don't know if the goals are half an inch shorter or wider.
I don't know. It's people that probably are listening to this are like, that's just unnecessary hate on Coach K. I'm like, well, guess what? You just don't get it because you're not a Carolina fan. If you are not a North Carolina, NC State, hell, I'll even throw Wake Forest into this name. If you are not one of those ACC school fans, then you do not understand the hatred for Duke. You don't. And I'll go a step further. If you're not from the state of North Carolina, you don't understand. I get the whole Ohio State, Michigan, that state up north, bullshit. I will never say that there's a bigger rivalry than North Carolina and Duke in any sport because they're separated by a highway. That is literally like a 20-minute drive between Chapel Hill and Durham.
Here's what's bad about it. I'm gonna be negative Nancy on that. Because there's 68 teams in the tournament now, the Carolina Duke games don't mean nothing anymore. And I hate to be negative Nancy, be like that about that. But because you can win the ACC tournament and get in, you can be in the top 5. If you're in the top 8, pretty much in the league, you're going to get in for the most part. And then, but the games actually, the individual, unless it's in the ACC tournament, they're fun, they're exciting, they're big rivalries, a lot of smack talk. But at the end of the day, Hunter, they've never meant anything.
Well, this is where
Think about this. Duke fans' greatest moment in the history of their life is Jeff Capel hitting a half-court shot at the buzzer to tie. They lost that game by like 10 in overtime. I've taught Hunter for years. That's all I heard. You go to any gym, every time somebody shoots one from half court, they yell Jeff Capel. And you're like, y'all lost that game.
But dang, nah, for me, all I ever heard was the Austin Rivers shot.
I was about to say,
Jesus
the next
Christ.
generation is the Austin Rivers, which he actually,
he hit and
they
won.
actually won that one.
Right. But what I'll disagree with you on with that is it might not mean much just going into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
But between fans, it means everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it means everything. I
mean, like, as for a basketball sense, it don't mean
Oh,
nothing.
no. Well, for a basketball sense, yes.
This is
doesn't.
like a Hornets-Hawks game.
You're right, because if you win the
Regular
ACC
season.
tournament, you're in. If you win the regular season,
If you're
in.
seventh in the ACC and your name's
You're probably
Duke,
you're
getting in the tournament.
So to that degree, yes. But if you're talking like how I was speaking on rivalries, Duke, North Carolina, and basketball compared to anything else, I just don't see anything that's close. And especially for people that aren't from North Carolina and don't root for those two teams, that when they finally watch the game on television, see how minuscule the margin in points and wins are between the two. It's like within, what was it, like the last 100 meetings, they're like 50 and 50, and it's only a difference of 2 points.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's just stupid.
It's ridiculous.
They don't even have a vote.
No. North Carolina, neither North Carolina, Duke, or Kentucky is in the top 25. It's like the first time since 48 or something like that.
None of them's even got a vote. UCLA's hanging there at 23. Gonzaga won. How does Gonzaga, that's what, like.
I came up with the reason why Gonzaga and Baylor and all these schools are sitting there up top. I know exactly what it is.
Gonzaga is every year.
Oh, I know, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So this year, you have limited practice time. You have limited exposure on the court. It's limited everything. Well, what is Kentucky, Duke, and now North Carolina being built around? The one and done. They bring these freshmen in, and you're expecting them at least to get all this work in the offseason and then just be able to gel. That's not the case right now. They weren't even able to be in school. Half the team didn't even get to play a full season last year. So if you're a young team right now, this is where you're really hurting right now, and you're trying to tread water and just get better as the season goes on. Gonzaga, Baylor, Villanova, Michigan,
I got
Texas,
two national champions right now.
Iowa.
Just looking at that.
They're all teams that North Carolina for years used to do this. That's why John Wall didn't commit to North Carolina. Roy Williams said, I don't want one and dones. He wants guys that are going to stay. These are schools that look at guys and say, we really want you to be able to stay 2, 3, heck, even the full 4 years if you can, and we'll build, and we just build a winning program. That's why the year that that Duke lost with the 3 top 10 picks, Zion, RJ, and Cam Reddish, who did they lose to? They lost to a junior and senior led Michigan State team. It was experience. And so to me, that is seriously, it's blaring right now in college basketball. Teams that have depth, well, not quite just depth, but they have experience.
Gonzaga's 15-0, Baylor 14-0. Now Baylor,
that was supposed to be a game this year.
How
Gonzaga and Baylor were supposed to play each other, but it got canceled, or it got canceled. They didn't rematch it.
I thought, how does Baylor even still have teams after everything they've went through the last
because
decade?
of Art Briles, isn't that his name?
Everybody in Waco, Texas got raped, and whatever. But I'm picking Villanova to win it.
Nova?
I haven't seen a dribble all year.
And you're picking Villanova to win it.
This is college. This is easy to do.
Well, yeah, it's usually your top 4. You're like, it's either your all number 1s, number 2s, and maybe a 3 or 4 slips in.
Who's coaching Michigan right now?
Juwan Howard.
Still there?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Juwan Howard. Yes,
so
sir.
Howard's got them at 13-1. That's impressive.
Juwan Howard. Shaka Smart actually just tested positive for the COVID-19, so he might be out in Texas's next game.
Is Wright still at Villanova?
Mm-hmm. Jay Wright.
They'll win it. Gonzaga sucks. Baylor sucks.
You're going with Nova.
I'm going with.
I haven't watched a dribble of college
I haven't
basketball
watched a
this
single
year.
dribble, and I can look at the top 10 or 5 and tell you who's going to win it.
Are you doing that because of the tweet or the text message you sent out to me and Tom and them saying we shouldn't have watched any sports this year? It was the top teams
That's what I
anyways.
should have brought. That's what I meant and wanted to start the show with. Some bullshit. But yeah, real quick. No, here's what. Gonzaga, they do this every year, and they never win it. So, Baylor, hell no, they're Waco, Texas ain't winning no national championship. Nova, they've got the coach. They've done it. This basketball. Michigan, I don't trust Michigan at all. Nobody chokes like Michigan. Michigan lost to Appalachian State and then called a timeout against Tar Heels.
Yeah, I'm going to say no one chokes. No one chokes in basketball like
Have
Michigan.
you looked at Michigan's I need to bring this up for the Saturday show. Since Appalachian beat Michigan, they've won only like 3 bowl games in 17 years. Like, we killed Michigan. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
And Ohio State needs to thank us for it. We killed Michigan. It wasn't y'all. It was us.
Not only
killed
that,
them.
think about it. Michigan lost that national championship against Carolina because of a blunder.
Yeah.
But also, Michigan was in a national championship a few years ago and lost to Louisville.
Mm-hmm. Nobody chokes like Michigan. Texas at 5. Is Rick Barnes still their coach? No, you said Shaka Smart.
Shaka Smart.
Rick Barnes went to Tennessee, didn't he?
Yes.
They're 17th right now at 10-3.
Barnes took over at Tennessee after Tennessee let go of Bruce Pearl for a few years.
So let me get this straight. Duke, North Carolina, and Kentucky not ranked in basketball. Alabama is 8th. Mm-hmm. What are y'all doing out here?
Alabama set the NCAA record for, it was like 3-point percentage in a game. If I'm not mistaken, I got to go back and look at that. They were like 13 for 20.
Whew. Let me ask you this. With those schools out of the top 25, does that mean that it's time for those old coaches to move on? Are they not getting the recruits because of how old they are? I mean, I'm being serious. I'm not trying, people know me and say I was being a jackass with that. But I mean, seriously, at what, you got to retire at some point.
You do.
So where's the line of I've made enough money, I've won enough national championships, they think I'm a god on this campus.
Yeah, it was Alabama set the SEC 3-point record. They shot 65% from 3.
That's not bad.
21 for 32.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, they blew the doors off of LSU. But what you're saying is true. We say the same thing with Nick Saban at Alabama. Eventually, the only difference is he's winning. If he started to lose, it would be, he might look at it and say it's over for me.
But he's still getting in the recruits. They're still getting recruits.
Duke, I think North Carolina is out of the 3 with Kentucky, Duke, and North Carolina. I think North Carolina's got the short end of the stick. I don't think they get nearly the recruits Duke and Kentucky do, and that's because of what you alluded to earlier when we were talking about how Coach K is really just a piece of shit.
That's not what I was talking about.
No, I'm just saying, as an Olympic, the fact that he can say I've coached NBA players and I'm the Olympic coach, that can really help.
That's what he tries.
Coach Calipari can say, look, I've made a national championship when I was coaching Memphis. We lost to Kansas, but I've made it. I've won a national championship
Coach K
at
is
Kentucky.
so elite, he'll coach USA basketball.
Right.
If he wants to do something, want to coach Canada.
I was gonna say, why doesn't he coach in the NBA?
He coaches the easiest place to recruit at and the easiest the Team USA.
See, because this is what Coach K and Calipari can hold over Roy is Coach K can say, all right, I've coached NBA pros at the Olympic level. I've worked with them.
Roy did too.
Well, yeah, Roy was an assistant. Then I don't think he was the head coach.
And they lost. He was on the losers.
I'm just saying. And then Coach K can say, I at least coached at the professional level. I might have not been great with the Nets, but I coached. Roy Williams has just been a college coach. Is it? Now, granted, he's probably one of the top 10 best college coaches of all time, but I don't know. I think Roy Williams is showing up to this one-and-done party a little late. North Carolina's not really known for recruiting one-and-dones like Duke and Kentucky are. They're kind of just open-armed to it. And that's what all the top recruits are. You know it. If you're trying to get anybody within the top 10 of the high school recruiting, you should just know flat out they're only going to play for a year. Not even a year. Just a basketball season, and then they're gone. And so North Carolina is now late to the party getting
the best
one and
strategy
dones.
to me would be getting people that aren't one and done that are really good.
Right.
Like,
right.
Well,
And
why would we even bother?
But you know what I think also hurts them? I don't think many people really want to play Dean Smith's offense.
Well, there's a lot of that's true too. There's a lot of factors with that. Say, you got an old coach, you've got a structured offense, and that's what I was gonna say. Like one and done, Hunter, they're looking for their own game. Mm-hmm. They can't even fit in to the offense. How many points Michael Jordan averaged?
Not 20? Maybe.
And then he went to the NBA.
Dean Smith was the only one to hold him under 20.
30.
Right.
Like think about that. Think about the rookies that we have now in the league.
Mm-hmm.
The highest average is number one pick is getting 12 points a game. Mm-hmm. Jordan averaged 20 in college, came in the league and got 27, 30. Like, let's do this first thing out the bat.
Right.
I mean,
I seriously, like, if I sit here and think about it more and more, I do think it could be the fact that Roy still runs Dean Smith's offense. Mm-hmm. Because when Coach K will change his offense to fit the players that he has. For years, what was he doing? He was shooting the three ball. He would recruit three-point shooters, three-point shooters, three-point shooters. And then he started getting the really athletic playmakers when Zion showed up.
I bet their three-point line shorter than everybody else.
Is that what you think it is? You think that's why
I think it's 6 inches closer. You just can't tell.
No, you can't. Not from those angles that
Until you start
Cameron.
making them in butter.
But I'm just saying. But when Zion showed up and they started, the offense changed completely, and it's been changed maybe for the last 3 or 5 years because the 3-point shooters aren't just swarming to Duke anymore.
I wonder.
I think he might. That's where I can give Coach K a little bit of credit. But we've been saying the same thing about Roy Williams for years. Coach K at least adapts and knows how to use his timeouts. I don't know what Roy's doing. Roy is stuck with Dean Smith's offense. It works when you got the right players, and he just never knows the right moment to call a timeout. And that just makes me livid.
I do want to know what it takes to get fired or not be fired.
Once you've held a position this long, you've been this successful.
So like the Eagles.
Doug Peterson was there for like 3 or 4 years.
Haven't won anything. And he comes in and wins the Super Bowl.
And he's fired like 4 years later.
They fire the coach and get rid of the Super Bowl MVP. Like, they kept Donovan McNabb around forever. And Andy Reid. They just kept losing. It's better to lose, Hunter. Jerry Jones, I swear to God, I tell y'all, he makes more money losing than he does winning. It's just simple math. I tell you what, I could, go over the salary cap and waste $40 million, or we could lose, bet high in Vegas, and I'd double that money up. Like, it's not. I don't know. But I do. I just wonder, like, why get rid of people who are successful, and not. But Carolina and Duke. I think Carolina's in a better spot moving forward as far as it's a state school. Mm-hmm. And you've got more people in the pipeline, I would say, that are more popular that could be coaches. Like, if Duke brings in Chris Collins or Jeff Capel, our kid's going to care. Or Bobby Hurley, our kid's going to care. Carolina brings in Kenny Smith and Hubert Davis, it's going to be a little bit different.
I think they would care a little bit more if they brought in Hurley. I think Duke would be a whole lot better if they brought in Hurley. Man, that's just an appeal
thing. There's a lot of people under 30 years old ain't never heard of Bobby Hurley.
Bobby Hurley, doesn't he coach up in
I can't remember
St. John's?
Is he not with the Shockers now?
No. Where's Bobby Hurley?
Yeah, I think Carolina's in a better position on that. Here's the thing.
Bobby Hurley, he's coaching in Arizona State right now.
So here's a question for you.
He coached up in Buffalo. I knew it was up north. I said St. John's. He coached at Buffalo. Now he's at Arizona State.
Can you name me the last Tar Heel that scored 20 points a game in the NBA?
You mean just an average?
Yeah, who averaged 20 points a game in the NBA?
Barnes never got there. He stayed in the teens, but he never got there. Did Kobe average 20 last year?
Kobe didn't go to the Tar Heel. He didn't play for North Carolina.
Kobe White.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
He got close. What was his average last year? But he can create his own shot off dribble and everything.
He got 13 last year.
Okay. He had a few big games. I don't know. He had some games where he dropped 30 and 40.
20's a lot, man. 20's
it is a lot.
People don't get it.
Are we going to go all the way back to Vince?
Yep. I don't know what year it was, but yep.
Was it not? It was either Vince or Sheed.
No, I don't know if she'd ever averaged 20. Is either Vince or Jameson. And I'm going to figure it out right now. But seriously, though, you're talking about the one and dones.
Right.
And the Carolina and everything in Carolina. Hunter, we ain't had any NBA players.
No.
We've had point guards.
We have point guards.
We've had a few power forwards.
We have point guards
that can block shots, but we ain't had any small forwards or shooting guards since.
We've not produced wing scoring in years. I mean, Harrison Barnes, sure, but it's not 20.
Harrison Barnes is the only one.
But that's still not 20.
Let's see. Vince Carter last scored 20 in 2009.
So it's been 12 years.
Let's see what Jameson's last year scoring 20 was. Jeez. 2010 for your Washington Wizards. So Anton Jameson. Vince Carter played 6 years after Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
And Jameson is still the last Tar Heel
Hold up.
to score 20 points.
Ty Lawson never averaged 20?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Not while he was running the show with Denver?
We can look. We can try. What you doing? Silly. All right. Ty Lawson.
I got a question.
What's that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, Don.
Did you hear about Michael Jordan?
What about
Somebody
Michael?
asked him if his 1990 Bulls teams could be today's LeBron's Lakers team.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, by about 2 or 3 points. And they said, why so little? And, of course, he said, well, most of us are about 60 years old today.
Oh, gosh, Michael.
I don't know how true that story is, though. But I believe he would have said that.
I believe that would be something that he
Lawson,
said.
the most he ever averaged was 17.
Okay, so he got close, but he got close. But if you think about it, Lawson was on that 2009 national championship team that had him, Wayne Ellington.
Barnes averaged 19.2.
Whoa. No, I was going to say, Danny Green never averaged 20.
No, I'm just saying that we have not. It's been 10 years since the Tar Heel has averaged 20 in the
Barnes
NBA.
He got close, though. He got, what, 19 point what?
19.2. So,
And they said when Harrison Barnes committed and was playing at the University of North Carolina, said that he has an opportunity to be special like Michael Jordan was, and it just never played out. I think it was a benefit, but also it kind of hindered him with Golden State because he wasn't the main scorer.
If he'd been in Golden State the last few years, everybody would be loving Harrison Barnes right now. He's not a superstar. He's decently average. He's doable. So for Hunter let's say Jordan came in at 85. So basically from 85 till 2010, 25 straight years of a Tar Heel averaging 20 points or more in the NBA.
Not anymore.
And Roy Williams ruined it all. Fire him now.
Well, and I'm looking at who they got now on this team, and again, I look at them. I said, "There's not an NBA player."
Do they have a single NBA player?
No.
Much less one that averages 20.
I mean, they have one that. Well, they might have one. I think Caleb Love eventually can get to that point, but will he average 20? He's a guard. He's a point guard. No, he won't. That they just don't. And that's the problem that I have when I watch them. It's when we talk about the NBA, we're always like, well, who's the wing scorer? And North Carolina never has a wing scorer. They always have your point guard. Cole Anthony right now is playing fantastic in the NBA. You know why?
They do a good job with point guards.
Their point guards, they translate to the league because a lot of the times in the league, they play fast. They like to push the ball up and down the court, which is what our point guards are supposed to do. And we produce decent big men. But it's just none of them are NBA superstars like Vince, Michael, and
Jameson averaged 17 points a game at age 35. Let me tell you about Jameson real quick. I know it's kind of before your time, kind of not. Hunter in college, he ran the offense as perfect. Let me put it this way. I would say Hansbrough might have ran the offense as perfect as that position gets. Jameson was the most talented player to play that position. And what I mean by that is he would get position on the block, get the ball, turn around. He scored so easily in the lane. He's 6'8", and he played like he was 6'11". And then when he got to the NBA, he got screwed he was in the transition era of the NBA where the league didn't, like if he came in the NBA right now, they would say, you're a 4 or you're a 3. Like he came in then with a fantastic post-up game. Like it was like there was nothing really he needed to work on. But when he got in the NBA, they're playing him against the guys. Now the power forwards then were 6'10", 6'11", bangers. So do they have him bang with them, and then the Golden State guys started putting him out on the wing, and you saw him. He went out there and started shooting threes. He never shot a 3 in college. I didn't say he couldn't shoot. I didn't say he could shoot threes. He had good form. But at no point would you think, James is going to go out here and bust some threes.
Yeah.
He scored, 54 in back-to-back games or something like that one year, and just I always thought Jameson, he was quiet, so he didn't talk junk. And he was one of the most underrated. He's better than Barnes, but people will probably say Barnes. They're almost the same player almost, but Barnes is a better dribbler, I think. But Jameson he got buckets and is a good, nice dude. Did he win the championship in Cleveland? Was he on that team?
Was he?
10, 11, 12. So I guess no. It doesn't say. He won a 6-man award, 2-time All-Star, and his rookie. And of course, he was traded for Vince in the same day draft. However stupid, whatever that was. But all right, that's our Tar Heels and Duke news whining for the day. I guess we had a little fun with that. On a couple other news and notes. Let's see. Major League Baseball nixes the DH in the National League and more playoffs. Major League Baseball has turned down the latest Major League proposal for universal designated hitter. So the Players Association has turned it down. The union stance has been along. They did not want to talk about a trade-off of a universal DH in return for expanded playoffs. Major League Baseball included the 2 items in its proposal, and the concept has been turned down. The DH and expanded playoff format were implemented for this year, blah, blah, blah. It's just a bunch of random stuff. All right, so what do you think about that?
I'm upset about the expanded playoff. I think I'm always for, and you are as well, more playoff games than regular season games. So I'm upset about that. I could care less about the universal designated hitter. The DH, to me, it was fun, especially for the Braves and me, because that Ozuna became very valuable. We put him at that DH position. And then we would, if we wanted him to play the field one day, we would fill that spot with another big bat that you have. If you're a team and you're loaded with bats, then the universal DH is great. But it's hit or miss for me. I can see the benefits from it from an offensive standpoint, but at the same time, in the NL and AL, they've done fine with one having it and one not. So
it's weird to me when people argue about it. They're like, "Would you rather have David Ortiz bat or Pedro Martinez?" And I'm like, "That's not the decision to be made. Like if Ortiz is on the team, and there's no DH, they're going to play him at first base. You're arguing about whether your catcher who bats 220 is that much better than your." Or your whatever 10th person is. What if they had a rule, Hunter? How about this? Because I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of not. I wish the pitchers would learn to bat. I don't know why you got 4 days off between. Take 1 day of BP. Y'all can't schedule that. Come on.
You were hitting baseball in high school.
Every one of them could probably crush it in high school too. Right. That's the thing. All the pitchers could hit. So that's just weird. But also like putting them in the Hall of Fame really bothers me. It just does, and it's not. And I would go to this. What if you had some type of a rule, almost like a pitch rule, where you could DH, but you only get 100 DH at bats a year? So you're basically eliminating the Hall of Fame position of DH, is what I'm saying.
You would have to rotate your DH,
right? So you don't just hire David Ortiz or hire some big fat dude that hits bombs. And that's all he can do, and he has to play defense at some point. Unless you want to sit him the other how many ever games or whatever. But I just don't. There's got to be some way maybe to set that. If all you do is just walk in there and hit, why is everybody not a DH? Why don't we have 10 DHs then? If that's what
Well,
we're
you know my
offense, if we're wanting all more offense, let's have 10 DHs.
You know my rule.
What's that?
Bat 8.
Well, that too.
Just bat 8. Pitchers don't hit. DH don't hit. Just bat 8. Bat your fielders.
It's so stupidly simplistic. It's genius.
It is. It's just bat 8.
Because everybody we've asked, whether or not they liked it,
they can't find any flaw with it.
Can't come up with a reason not to do it.
Right. Right. If you sit here and complain, well, who would you much rather have, Big Papi or Pedro Martinez hit? I'm like, well, guess what?
My answer is the leadoff hitter.
Yeah. My answer is just don't have either one of them hit. And just bat your 8.
I mean, I don't mind Big Papi playing baseball. Play baseball.
Right.
And that's what's aggravating about the All-Star thing, Hunter. So for example, let's say at Bessemer, I play shortstop. I'm second on the team in batting average. I hit the fence 5 times. Now, if the fence is 5 feet shorter in all those 5 swings, I've got 5 bombs and I'm leading the team in homers. But I'm not.
Right.
Okay? Bad luck. Who cares? But I'm still second in batting average to a guy who got drafted second in second round of baseball. And for you to sit there and tell me that our 6'5" junior DH who can't catch a ground ball, who can't throw a baseball, but can hit it 500 feet if you throw it right, is a better player than I am. And that just blows my mind. Mm-hmm. It is like, no, it's like saying Jeff George is better than Joe Montana. Mm-hmm. Joe Montana can't throw it 80 yards, so but George can, does that make him a Hall of Famer? It's just you can't convince me the DH guy is a better player, especially than infielders. Like, and we've had this argument before. Outfielders, I think that's the easiest damn thing in the world to do, is stand in the outfield in sports. Mm-hmm. In sports, honest to God, every sport, you can't just stand there in basketball or football at any position.
No.
And in baseball, you can stand in left field and pick your nose for 9 innings and never get a ball.
Excuse me. That is why I give baseball so much shit. That's why. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say I can go up and hit a 90-plus mile per hour fastball. I'm just saying there's a whole lot of standing around that happens. There's a whole lot of standing around.
Andre said you got to be an expert at scratching your nuts because that's all they do.
They'll back in the control room, this will be like for broadcast. Flip it over to camera 7, and it's just right there, first baseman chewing on that, scratching his nuts right there, moving his cup around. It's like, yeah, that's America's pastime. Look at it. Look at it in all its glory.
You gotta wear a cup so you don't die.
Right.
I used to not wear one because I thought I was such a good damn infielder.
No, I wouldn't wear one.
That it wouldn't bother me. Well, then one day, Hunter, in practice, got a bad hop, and the ball split him. Basically, hit him direct hit, hanging there like a fucking just like a gong. Hit him perfect. And I hit the ground and laid there for a good 20 minutes. I never, after that, I never not wore one in the infield. I was about 15. I mean, I made it all the way up to high school ball without wearing one. And that one, and then the feeling, I was like, I never want to feel that again. Now, the bad thing about it is, and what was aggravating and took so long, is that I was a heavy head first slider. So I had to take the cup out when I batted. Mm-hmm. Because if I slide, it would hurt like a motherfucker. Right. It would jam in my stomach or do something. Yeah. So, like, I always took too long getting in and out of the dugout because I had to put my cup in.
My freshman year, the coach for soccer was not the one that coached me sophomore through senior year, but he said, it was second or third day of tryouts. I'm a freshman, okay? And he's like, all right, boys, I hope you brought your cup. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you guys are the wall today. And I said, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, what is he talking about? He said, freshmen, line up and make the wall. Do not turn around when this ball is kicked at you. And basically what it is in soccer on a free kick from outside the box, most of the time you make a wall.
Are you saying?
And you're 10 yards away from the ball. I'm saying he teed up balls at us.
Are you saying your coach went dodgeball on you guys?
Yes.
And started slinging wrenches out there?
Listen. When I tell you he would tee it up and you had to block the ball. as a unit for the wall. You got to block the ball. Okay.
Does that ever work?
What?
Blocking that ball.
Sometimes, yeah.
I was wondering.
But
Most stuff is we just kick it over you, don't you?
if they kick it above you, then you're safe.
Right.
But let me tell you something. If he drives it at you, you got to just take it like a man.
I'll tell you the worst feeling in the world, Hunter. And you even got pads on. You ever try to block a football? Holy fuck, it hurts. Like,
Yeah.
it's got 2 points, first of all.
Right.
And the point that you're blocking it at is at full velocity. Like, it's coming off the punter's foot or whatever miles per hour it is.
Yeah.
Or kicker. That shit hurts. Like, I'm not going to lie. Every time I've gotten close enough to block a kick, I've closed my eyes, turned my face, and prayed to God he didn't kick me in the nuts.
I'm just sitting here thinking. Because, like, I graduated with his daughter. It didn't matter. But I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, Coach, is that okay to do at the high school level?
It's not.
To tee it up?
That's called
and essentially just be like, play defense?
That's called hazing, isn't it?
Isn't it hazing?
It might be.
Because see, what it was the freshman you had to make a wall, and he was the one
Especially
taking
that he pointed out that it was the freshman. It was the coach that kicked it.
Yeah, it was the coach that was kicking it. And sometimes he would have the freshman play the goalie at the same time too. So, he doesn't coach anymore. He does it. I'm just saying, when I sit here and I think about it, like, I could go back and talk to a lot of my friends that tried out with me, and I could point out to them and say, that was kind of dangerous. I mean, he told us really, and of course he's not going to sit there and force you not to move, but you're trying to make the team. So you really don't want to, put yourself at a disadvantage because you moved because you didn't want to get pegged with a soccer ball. So I'm telling you, I wish I was making that up.
So
I wish I was making it up.
We got a couple other things before we get to the NFL today. I'm trying to waste as much time as possible on some fun stuff for Hunter.
Well, that's what we have to do.
Getting silly. How about I read a tweet that today there. So I don't know the exact policies on it, but have you seen where the new president has done something with the sports?
Yes,
male female sports.
Yes,
I don't know the exact rules or policies.
Essentially, it's ending it.
So Randy Quaid tweeted something about he wrote a movie one time that him and Bill Murray went through sex changes to play like college basketball girls or something like that, or one of them.
Yeah,
and then he was like, it was like everyone would have laughed at that movie then. Now they wouldn't make it or wouldn't allow us. But I was like, you seen Juwanna Mann? You ever seen that? I haven't actually watched the whole movie. I've seen bits of it, but like, and it is, and you're trying to do the right thing and think about what's right for everybody. But if you do what's right for the 0.1%, the rest of you, it's not right for them. So if I went out on a softball field right now, I'm sure the girls would blow it by me the first few times. But after I got a few minutes of practice, I would hammer it. Now, should I be allowed? So if this is the rules now, I guess I've got college eligibility. Should every male over 19 with college eligibility not right now
try and go play softball
out for
women's
college
softball?
Something, whether it's softball, basketball? Think about all the dudes in the world that could play girls college basketball. Like, it's not even close. Like, we used to scrimmage. So I've scrimmaged as girls teams a couple times in basketball. Our JV team played our varsity team one time when I was JV basketball. Boys played our varsity team. And the varsity girls, they didn't win the state or anything, but they were good. They won the conference. We smoked them as a JV team.
Right.
The varsity team, when we played them, it was the most unfair thing. Like, there was no reason for them to be on the court with us. I mean, we're out there just dunking back. Like just think about in the block. Like, what are they going to do in the block besides get posterized in there? So it's not fair. I don't like it. Again, just being funny. Like I said, if it was all in college and stuff, if I was in college,
I'd go try us out for softball.
Don't tell your friends wouldn't be just sitting around drinking and be like, who wants to try for basketball next week? Or who wants to try for softball?
Right.
Or, I don't know. Hunter, do you not think you could be a fantastic women's soccer player?
Yes.
Think about that.
Yes.
You go to the school, you're going to college, you're going to app, and be like, the men's coach, like, I don't know, Hunter. All right, well, I'm going to go.
And it's nothing to take away from the women that play the sport. It's just
I don't think it's fair to them.
I hate to say it, there would be a lot of them I'd probably be faster than.
I've got a daughter growing up. Do I want to see her playing against boys?
Not really. Probably not.
Think about this, Hunter. If I'm watching my daughter play and she gets roughed up by a boy and her parents are sitting over here cheering that on, do I not just go over and whoop that boy's dad's ass?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be serious but funny about it. But seriously, if my daughter's out on a soccer field, Hunter, or you've played soccer, if your daughter's out on a soccer field and you saw in a guy being a girl and he hits it and you look over and you see his parents like cheering him on, like, yeah,
I'd be pissed.
would you not rage?
I'd be very mad.
Rage. I think Hunter would rage.
Oh, I have a rage. I just don't show it
Well,
much.
you know what?
But
What
you
if your
have to-
daughter's
but
out on the basketball court and she goes for a shot?
Oh, well, the best-
and Zion Williams beats it out the ceiling.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a parent,
What if Zion said, "I'm a girl"?
if you're a parent, you should be highly upset about it because what was it? It was a headline a few months ago or last year. It was high school. No, it couldn't have been last year because of COVID, obviously, but the year prior. It was a high school wrestling national state championship, and it was for the women's, and it was won by a guy because he said that he classified himself and thought of himself as a woman, but genetically and biologically, you are a man, just essentially manhandling and wrestling these women. And I'm not saying, and of course, again, we got to preface, I'm not saying the women can't be strong. A female wrestler that is dominant will dominate other female wrestlers. Mm-hmm. But even a dominant female wrestler against even a mediocre to decent wrestling guy, there's just a strength factor you have to take into consideration.
So you think,
and the size. Like, I saw the picture of the kid. He was a huge compared to
Nick
them.
Chubb playing the girl sports.
It's just
he was wrong against boys.
because, like, I get it. Like that would be like asking in a strength competition, weightlifting.
Wow.
You're having a girl compete against a guy, and this girl could be damn strong as hell. She could be benching crazy weight for a woman. And then this guy walks in there and benches crazy weight for a man.
See if you can follow
and it's just not fair.
See if you can follow my English on this. People think just because a girl / Serena Williams could be a man, they think that means she could beat every man. And a is different than every.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't her older sister play like the 170th ranked male player and got
Venus
swept off the court? Yeah, one of them played a male like 15 years ago, and she got just ran off the court by like the 170th best player. I think it was a long time ago. It was Billie Jean King, and I can't remember the other guy, and the guy beat her. Like it wasn't hard, it wasn't close. And you got to think. So if you're going to talk basketball, like basketball and football and sports like that are just non-starters with me.
No, you can't talk
soccer
that. You can't talk that.
Even if you think other sports, let's say a non-contact sport. Let's say golf. That's a great one. Professional golfers, women will destroy tons and tons of amateur men.
Right.
They will destroy millions of men all over the earth. Mm-hmm. But if a professional woman got on the men's tour, what happens?
She loses.
And
she doesn't win. She places somewhere.
All right, so Michelle, LPG. Look, I'll just put this for an example.
And we get it, you people are listening. We understand it's a tricky topic because you don't want to sound disrespectful about it. But at the same time, I know a girl who likes to do competition weightlifting. And I think she understands, and she was upset about that as well. She understands that if it's a mixed competition and she's not just competing against other women, she might not really have a chance because of just the genetics and the biologics for if a man goes in there for weightlifting.
All right, so let me give you the distances. Women average 260.
Okay, on a drive.
That's it says 230 to 290. So easy math, let's say 260.
Meet in the middle, 260.
Those are pros, right? That's what I hit it.
I'm about to say, I think I've got lucky enough and got a hold of one. I at least hit 275,
That's
280.
about 275 is about my average. So I walk up to a tee box. I can hit two. If I can fly. When I see 250 flight, I feel confident enough I can fly at 250. Whether it gets to 280, I don't know. But what I'm saying is that I myself am the same distance. I'm looking at their distances on all their stuff. So this will be a great example. So I'm an amateur player. I'm probably like a 5 handicap right now. Shooting the 70s every time I play, but I'm not going to shoot in the 60s like they will. But they're obviously their putting and chipping's way better than me, right?
Yeah.
But the distance here is okay. So they've got 3-wood 190 to 260. I hit my 3-wood 240. 3-iron 185 to 215. I hit my 3-iron 220. So I'm already ahead of the pros on 3-iron on their max. 4-iron. It's 170 to 200. I hit mine 210. 5-iron hit mine 200. They go to 190. 6-iron hit my 6-iron 180. They're at 175. 7, I hit at 170. They're at 160. So I'm 10 to 15 yards ahead of them on iron. So, Hunter, if we drive at the same distance, if I teed up with a pro girl and we both hit the driver, I would be a club ahead of them. And I'm an amateur. Like, this ain't even, we're not even talking pros.
No.
And what's
We're
funny,
not talking if Dustin Johnson went out there against the best women's golfer.
I'm a 5'9" amateur that only drives at like 280. I play with guys that are like 6'2", they can hit at 300. Like, but I beat them because like the girls could probably beat me with a better short game. But looking at the averages, so let's look PGA average distance, okay? And we're going to see a total different on this. 3-wood 230 to 310.
That's pretty substantial.
310 off the deck, and the girls, their max 3-wood's 260. So 50 yards, the pros is basically just off the 3-wood. Let's go down to 7-iron. It says 170 to 200. The girls are hitting 140 to 160. So the boys at 170 to 200 was what iron? I say 7?
Yeah.
The girls are hitting 4 irons 170 to 200. That's 3 clubs. So you see how far I've got to go to catch the pros. I'm at the girls, if not slightly ahead of them. I'm between the pros and the girls.
Right.
And they're sitting there back. So, like, look, in a sport, even in golf, where you do not touch the opponent, you don't even mess with the opponent, the length, muscle, size, and strength is so much further apart in a sport like that. And you're not even competing. See, in tennis, you're at least competing head-to-head. But I'm just trying to think of a sport, Hunter, that you're not even competing. All you're doing is the course.
Look, I want you to think about that. Swimming.
Yeah.
Swimming would be a different breed because think about it in general. You swimmers for men are huge.
Like they're like 6'5",
huge.
ain't
They're
he?
like he's like 6'5", 6'6". I don't know what the tallest woman swimmer is, but naturally most women do not grow that big. I know you have some for obviously playing the WNBA, and it's another thing too. Have you seen a picture of Michael Phelps? The dude is shredded.
Dude, this says the girls hit their pitching wedges 120 to 120 yards. I hit mine 150.
Listen, there's nothing, and that's what I think people need to understand is there's nothing wrong with there being a men's and women's league. There's nothing wrong with it. Like it's okay.
We're gonna end up if they keep down the same path, you're gonna end up with intersex levels. That's the only way you could do it, isn't it? Is to where you'd have to have like the PGA. Like PGA doesn't say it's only for men, by the way. Like anybody can play it. Now the ladies says ladies, so they're the ones making the restrictions, not the actual men, as far as that goes. So like anybody can play on the PGA, but you got to make it, and that's what people. If people say, "Well, the girls can they play?" Well, they've never have.
Right.
It's open. It's called the U.S. fucking Open. Like everybody in this room can try out for 100. I mean, and they don't make it. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to the girls. And then you're gonna have douches and dude bags.
Because I want people to understand something too. We talk about let's actually talk about something where the women's team is actually better than the men's team. That's the United States women's national team in soccer.
And they got beat by a 16 and under team.
Yes, they got beat by a 16 and under men's team.
It was like 8-3 or something like that.
That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. And I have tried to harp.
They basically got beat by
too.
a JV team.
I've tried to harp this on to people too. Like I don't think people understand really for women in general how lucky they are when they play in the United States because they're actually compensated enough to where they don't have to necessarily maybe work a second job. When I see the United States women's national team go out and beat like Tobago and somebody else by like 8-0.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago by like 8 goals. I'm like, well, I can almost guarantee that the women that are playing for this country, this might not be their full-time job. They don't just go and have the best training facilities in the world. You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, our women's team is great, and it's something to really get behind. But at the same time, if I put, and this is no shot to the women's team, if I put them on the same field as the United States men's national team, and I'm not talking U16, I'm talking the full-grown men that try to compete to be in the FIFA World Cup every year, I do not think it's going to be very close. No.
One thing also,
if I'm not mistaken, one step for the women's soccer player would probably already be 2 to 3 steps for one of the men's soccer players. If you're just talking a speed of the game, I don't know many women that run a 4.3 or a 4.4 40.
Well, one other reason too, and this is getting in the political realm of that, is that a lot of countries don't have a lot of freedoms for women.
Right.
So this country has the most.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of countries, like what you're saying, is that they don't just go practice soccer every day.
Right.
They have jobs, families, other things. You live in communist countries, who knows what. But it's different animals are the sports, and you know, racing, mate, you can do racing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's driving pedals, reaction time. I don't see being physically stronger as reaction time. Now, I will say this, as far as it, you got to be able to hold on to that damn steering wheel.
Yeah,
I'll say that. You got to be able to have the muscle strength to be able to do that. But I don't know, man. Here's the tweet of the day, Hunter, and I can't even show it, but I wanted to show you because I just about pissed myself when I saw it.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Who is it?
It's Jose Canseco. God almighty.
He wished everybody a Happy New Year, Hunter, except for A-Rod.
I bet he did.
He wished everybody a Merry Christmas, except for A-Rod. All right. Kelly Oubre Jr. last week got a technical foul. You know what went down in the book as?
What?
Arousing the refs.
Arousing the refs. Oh.
What does that mean? Read it. Yeah, I don't even know if you see it.
If it was focusing. He was arousing the refs. Oh, my goodness.
That was the technical foul he got.
Whew.
You want to elaborate, Hunter?
Yes.
I don't.
I want to know what they mean.
You want them to elaborate.
I want them to elaborate. I'm not elaborating.
That's why I wanted you to elaborate.
No, God, no. Goodness gracious. No.
All right, I think my final funny tweet, or some type of tweet of the day is, I just like getting fun tidbits of information, is this. No, maybe. Might be this when I find it. All right, Hunter. We'll move over to the NFL.
Yeah.
Most passing yards in a final season of their career. Top 5.
Do I have to guess?
Take some guesses, just for fun.
Marino.
No.
Peyton.
Nah. Your boy's number 1. Terry's boy's number 2. JP's boy's number 3. Daddy's boy is number 4, and Tom's boy is number 5.
What?
Your boy's number 1. Terry's boy is number 2. JP's boy is number 3. Dad's is 4. And Tom's is 5. I gave you some good hints.
Troy Aikman?
Nah.
Hell, I don't know.
Who's your boy?
Andrew Luck.
There you go. Ha! Nailed it. Let's see if we can get them all.
Okay.
Who's Terry's boy? Just retired 2 days ago.
Phillip Rivers?
Yes.
You said Terry's boy, and I'm thinking of a Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
He's number 4. That's Dad and Terry's boy's number 4.
Oh. Is it Staubach?
Yep.
Tom's.
Let's see if you can name Tom's. There's only been one MVP from Cleveland. The greatest quarterback in Cleveland history.
Kozar?
Brian Sipe.
Sipe.
The MVP. And finally, JP's boy's number 3. See if you can figure that one out.
JP's?
Who is JP's favorite quarterback of all time?
Hell, I didn't think JP knew sports.
You got to know this.
No.
Do you know what JP's other job is?
Oh, Kurt Warner.
There you go.
Because JP works at a grocery store. Kurt Warner.
JP's been bagging groceries for 10 years.
Oh.
So he's just waiting for his call from the Rams.
Heck. Some people, that's all you got to do.
He's just waiting on his call, Hunter.
Sometimes it's all it takes. And
All
who
right.
knows, you might win some Super Bowls with
I'll
it.
let you start where you want. I got to run down the home and check on the kids for a second as far as the
So
NFL
what are we going,
goes.
NFL?
NFL time.
All right. So now we're going to transition over from fun time to the NFL, where this past weekend it was the championship round for the AFC and the NFC. Tampa Bay went up to the frozen tundra. It's called Lambeau Field up in Green Bay, and Tampa Bay walked away with a victory. And then the Buffalo Bills tried to circle the wagons when they came into Kansas City, but the Chiefs were not having that. Patrick Mahomes and company took care of business. So the Super Bowl is set up. It is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. Imagine that. This will be the first year ever that the site of the Super Bowl, which is in Tampa Bay this year, will host the home team of that city. Tampa Bay will be playing in Tampa Bay, essentially a home game for the Super Bowl. I'm excited to watch this, and the reason why I'm so excited to watch this is because it's going to be Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, Part 3. We saw this the first time when Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City while he was a part of the Patriots in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. And then we saw it this past regular season when Tom Brady and the Buccaneers played the Chiefs, and Brady and the Buccaneers lost to the Chiefs in this regular season. So right now, both of them are 1-1 against each other head-to-head. Now, it's for all the marbles. This is for King of the NFL, the Mac Daddy Super Bowl. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be really refreshing to watch, where you've got, you can just say it as it is, the new shiny toy in Patrick Mahomes versus the old rusty toy that nobody's really playing with anymore, Tom Brady, but he still is very efficient. Or I can put it a better way. You got a brand spanking new shiny 2021 Corvette. Looks really nice. It's really fast. Brand spanking new. But you also have over in the shop your 1970 Corvette Stingray. It gets the job done and still runs and looks great. It's just not new. And so that's what I'm looking at when I look at the Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady matchup this weekend. I think or not this weekend, I'm sorry, we're 2 weeks away. But that Super Bowl matchup, to me, it's new kid on the block versus someone that's lived here for a few weeks or for a few years, all right? He just moved in, Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl winner last year, trying to make it 2 in a row. Tom Brady, this is his 10th Super Bowl. He's won 6. He's lost 3. If he wins this 7th one, it's just another day at the office for him. But if Patrick Mahomes wins his 2nd Super Bowl in a row, we could be looking at a team that's trying to string along multiple Super Bowls after this for quite a long time in the Kansas City dynasty. So let me go back and just review what happened this past weekend. So for me, Tampa Bay's defense really stood out in this game against Green Bay. Green Bay looked flustered whenever they would get to the red zone. I don't know what it was. Usually Aaron Rodgers is lights out within the red zone, finding Devontae Adams, but they were able to really get penetration through the offensive line, Todd Bowles' defense was, and they really got Aaron Rodgers off his mark and got him flustered. He pushed out of the pocket a little bit and didn't quite look as accurate as he usually is. The big mistake was him not running the ball in right there on 3rd down. Instead, trying to throw across his body back to the left in the red zone. But if he looks right, there's nothing but green grass. They always say the grass is greener on the other side. Well, Aaron Rodgers, why did you not take that path? That would have been an easy touchdown. I think he tried to get cute with it. That's my personal opinion. You know, in a bang-bang play, I don't know necessarily if he saw that was open, but if he did see it was open, that's where I say I think he tried to get cute with it. I think he said in the back of his mind, I'm Aaron bleeping Rodgers, okay? I can make this throw. And he tried to force it across his body to Devontae Adams, and Tampa Bay was there to break it up. LaFleur going for the field goal is a horrid look when you needed a touchdown anyways, whether you got the field goal or not. So him going for the field goal instead of letting Aaron Rodgers go for it on fourth down, I think was a problem. But I think that also comes with the same thing I talk about with Stefanski and the Browns, the head coach of the Browns. I'm going to say the same thing about LaFleur in that moment. I think that's just inexperience. I was listening to today, them talking about it. I'm not going to say fire him. I'm just saying I was listening to them talk about it today, and Trent Dilfer made a good point when they were interviewing him. He said, that's fine in the regular season, not in the playoffs.
Right.
He said, not with the game on the line right there.
Right.
So to me, when I was watching the Buccaneers and Packers game, the Buccaneers defense showed up. They came to play and they executed great. I think Aaron Rodgers shied away a little bit from the big moment. Obviously, he messed up not being able to see that he could just run in a touchdown and tried to force it across his body. And I just got done sitting here saying, I think even if he did see he could run, that was a moment where he tried to be a little bit cute with it. And he, in his mind, said, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I can make this throw. But still, I know a lot of people are going to place a lot of blame at LaFleur's feet and at Aaron Rodgers' feet. But even if they get that touchdown, they're still down in this game. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give a lot of credits to the Bucs. A lot of the credit to the Bucs in that defense.
Sean McDermott fucked up too.
Oh, against the Chiefs. Yeah. I haven't even got there. Yeah, he settled for too many field goals.
Why can't these coaches count points? I don't get.
Do they need us who play Madden? Did we not talk
about this Saturday?
We did.
We specifically said they need
a kid that has played Madden.
And both teams that lost fucked the clock up.
Yes. They fucked the clock up. And not only that, they didn't take chances. I think Sean McDermott played very safe against the Chiefs. He saw that he had a lead, even though it was minimal. He was only up 9-0, and he played scared.
You can't do that against
And I don't understand why these kickers still keep missing damn extra points. That's like a 20-yard chip shot, dude.
35.
Okay, 35-yard chip shot. You practice this every day.
It's not right. That right there, that fact right there, the extra point shouldn't probably be
the extra point. Now, I'm talking, if you're just talking about going for a field goal from 35 back, I'm like, okay, I kind of get that, but it's just a field goal. Mm-hmm. There's really should be no pressure on you. Mm-hmm. It's just that you just put it in between the uprights for 1 point. I don't get it.
I think kickers are like golfers. They're head cases.
I think so.
Because it is, because you got to think. You. I'll get in a rhythm in golf, Hunter, where I can tee the ball up, almost not even line up, and swing, hit it straight as an arrow, right where I want it. I know where it's going. And then I'll have days where I can line up exactly, do everything that I want to do, and I can't hit it at all.
Because it was crazy watching Bass. He's a rookie. Now, he's a rookie kicker. Mm. But he hit all the field goals. Mm. But he missed that extra point. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You just hit 2 from 50 and 1 from 30 plus. And I'm like, you missed the extra point.
I think teams should go for 2 every time. I'd rather do that from the 2-yard line every time than kick a 35
But if we are speaking about kickers, congratulations to Hickory High School alumni Ryan Suckup going to the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers.
I didn't know he's from Hickory.
Yes, went to Hickory High School. I think he's class of 2005.
Did you get into either in game when we talk about these dumbass coaches?
No,
I want to talk about dumbass coaches. It drives me crazy.
I was just talking about, really, I previewed how excited I was to see for the Super Bowl, Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. I think this is going to be really good. But I just got really into what I thought about the Bucs and Packers. And it was essentially that, I think the Buccaneers defense deserve all the credit. Brady did throw 3 picks. Mm-hmm. He did. He didn't play a flawless game. But you look at Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers played lackluster in this game. Even though he was like 3 touchdowns to 1 pick, I still think he was lackluster when they needed him most, which is what in our text messages throughout the day, when you said this game is far from over, I was like, yeah, it is. I've seen Aaron Rodgers pull shit out of his ass for years, and towards the end, he did not look great. And to your point, you want to talk about these dumbass coaches, LaFleur, I'm gonna give you a pass right here for inexperience, but you got to go for it right there in that moment. You kicked a field goal knowing you would have still needed a touchdown, whether you scored a touchdown or not.
He did say something, and it made I understand where he's coming from, and that's how I'd have been if I was a coach. I'd been pissed. He said, like, well, we had 3 chances and we didn't get it. Mm-hmm. That's because people were like, you got Aaron Rodgers and it's 1 play, and I'm like, and his point was, well,
we had 3.
That same Aaron Rodgers
had 3 opportunities, right?
But again, so
you got to have Andy Reid type cojones at some point.
He thinks he's going to get the ball back there with 2.5 minutes left, 3 timeouts
against Tom Brady.
That's the thing. Like, do you give Tom Brady the ball with the lead and 2 minutes left? Like, come the fuck on. And so that's dumb. What he did, I think, he looked at it and he said, no matter what, I'm going to have 2 2-point conversions. And I don't think he thought it through that if you don't get the first one, the second one, if you don't get the 7, you can't get the second one and the third one. So you had to get to 7 first. And I think, honestly, like if they had to score 3 times and 2 of them had to be 2s. So I just think he just thought in his head, we're going to go for 2s, and then didn't put into account, fuck, if we miss this one, we can't then catch up. So I think they messed up with that on that one. Even though they probably wouldn't come back and win.
I was going to say
they needed 2 more.
I will say this:
onside kicks.
When Tampa Bay came out and scored that fast out of halftime, because I had literally just left the gym and it was halftime. I got home and the score was 28 for Tampa Bay. I was like, "What are you talking about? They just had 21 at half." They scored so fast. I thought Green Bay dug themselves in too deep of a hole at that moment.
Brady, if you say I'm going to go to the game and get Brady 280 yards and 3 picks,
we got an opportunity.
We should win the game. Not even an opportunity. We should win the game.
We should.
Last week he only had 109. Think about everybody's talking about how great Brady is. Last week he had 190 yards.
Right.
This week he had 280 and 3 picks. He's not playing great. What he did was, and probably was the game, probably what won the game, Hunter, was the halftime touchdown to Scotty Miller.
Damn, that's a hell of a throw. Good God.
That won the game. That's the game. They almost punted.
Yes.
Almost kicked a field goal, and then decided we're going to go for it. And then instead of throwing a slant or something for the first down,
he goes deep.
He throws it in the end zone. Scotty Miller, they win by 5, Hunter. And that play right there, that's the game winner. So he threw 3 picks. Like I said, do you want the same Brady in the Super Bowl
against the Chiefs? No.
That's played the last 2 weeks.
No.
Well, the Chiefs are going to win by 25.
I want Super Bowl Brady.
Right.
That comes out and usually is not throwing any picks, is as efficient as hell. But do you want to know what it is, I think? Like, if you look at it, Tom Brady's picks numbers obviously are up a little bit, but he can take more chances with his offense.
Well, they are. That's the offense. The offense is a vertical passing game, and so
he couldn't do that with the Patriots.
What they were saying the last few weeks is that Brady talked Arians into giving him an early out for blitzes and stuff like he had in New England, and that's what they've gotten better.
Yeah, but he's had a lot of checkdowns now to Fournette and obviously to Reynolds.
But still,
Jones.
That game was big plays. First drive, big plays to Mike Evans. Second drive, big plays.
I'm telling you, Tampa Bay scored so
big
easy,
play to Scotty Miller.
So easy on that first drive. I was kind of nervous for Green Bay.
And then Godwin made play after play after play. So going into the game, you're looking at, Brady's not playing the best that he can right now. And so, but we do this every game though. We talk about, well, can this quarterback do this? Can this quarterback do that? Well, how many points did Buffalo score yesterday and lost?
22, 23.
Yep. First round they won 17-3. So Josh Allen played good enough to win, but not against Mahomes.
He just outdueled him.
And people is like, it's Mahomes versus Allen. No, it's Mahomes versus the Bills defense.
That Bills defense could not get pressure on Mahomes all day.
And then Josh Allen against the Chiefs defense.
And that Chiefs defense looked really good. So start 24. Okay, I was close.
Yeah, he scored 24 points.
Yeah.
So it's not like they scored the least of the weekend at 24, which was almost the most of the weekend before. So we didn't get to. I guess we did last week talk about Stefanski, didn't we? That was Tom saying. I'm sorry. I think you kind of agreed with me on that. You lose to the Jets.
Oh, I said that was what cost you the game. Was Stefanski waited too late to realize the run game is killing them. They can't handle it, and I felt like that was a bad moment here. Another coaching moment for LaFleur. That was just bad coaching there at the end.
Stefanski lost to the Jets, and then the team beat the Steelers on the road without him there, and then he comes back and we make clock management bad decisions. I just don't think he's the coach of the year, and yes, it's Tom got kind of upset about it, and then but. Here. Let's put it this perspective. Let's say he does win Coach of the Year. What's next? How many Coach of the Years have been fired the very next year? It's happened multiple times in the NFL. How about Hunter? What if they go 6-10 next year?
Was he really Coach of the Year?
They could easily go. That could easily happen.
I said you could make a hard argument. It would either be Stefanski. Tom brought up Rivera. I totally forgot to talk about Ron. You could say Ron or Brian Flores. To me, Brian Flores was more deserving of Coach of the Year because of the games where he had to make hard decisions, pulling out Tua just to go to Fitzpatrick to win games.
McDermott won the division.
Yeah, McDermott did win the division.
Trying to think of somebody else that might be.
Bruce Arians went 7-9 last year. Now he's in the Super Bowl with the Bucks. But some would say it's Tom Brady.
Right. I mean, he also, think about Bruce, you had, it wasn't just Brady. You had like 4 or 5 other free agents that come and play for it. It just wasn't that. Man, I don't know. Stefanski probably has the best case as far as being the Browns and everything, but I don't know. I'll put it this way. I don't think he made the best coaching decisions and is the best coach. No. Now, whether or not you want to call that Coach of the Year, I guess we can argue about that, but I like Flores, I like McDermott.
Now, if you want to classify Coach of the Year as the one that's turned around a program, I mean, yeah, you could say Stefanski or Brian Flores, just within that short of a time frame, because Stefanski was just hired this offseason.
How about the Colts coach,
Frank Wright?
I mean, he's had his quarterback retire, had garbage last year, had a guy who's on his last legs this year, and they still made the playoffs.
Played hard. I don't know, but if you look at the playoff games from this past weekend, it was on coaching, really, a lot of it. I put a majority of it at the feet of McDermott for settling for too many field goals. Because field goals don't win games against high-scoring offenses like the Chiefs.
Right, you don't kick field goals.
You don't kick field goals. And then you look at LaFleur, and I just think right there at the end was a bad time for him. But I think that's more of inexperience.
Okay.
To me, the headline of that game should be, and I've seen a lot of people give him credit, and they should, is Todd Bowles' defense. That defense for Tampa Bay really got after Aaron Rodgers, and they played fantastic.
Sacked him more than about anybody else this year, didn't they?
Yes, they played outstanding. Now, if you look at the Bills and Chiefs games, to me, it was just too much. Like, if I had to write a headline about what I saw between the Bills and the Chiefs, and it would be too much firepower, Kansas City. What more do you want? Clyde Edwards-Helaire back off of injury. Tyreek Hill runs a sub 4.340, and when he gets the ball on a little slant route, there's nobody that can touch him. Travis Kelce is a 6'6", 6'7" monster that can run like a wide receiver. Even Mecole Hardman, who had the blunder right there that set Buffalo up for their touchdown, can run a 4.340. So maybe I shouldn't say too much firepower, too much speed in Kansas City. That would be the headline. Because I think Buffalo has a great offense. I think Kansas City's defense played against them really well. But the Bills, I would literally see Tyreek Hill get the ball on like a 5-yard slant route and take it 20, 30 yards because he's so much faster than everybody else is trying to catch him. Nobody could get the right angle on him, trying to track him down, because no matter what angle you think is right, it almost looks like he can step up to another gear at any moment. I'm serious. I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl before the season even started. I'm kind of leaning for them to do the same thing, and it's just because it's like, pick your damn poison.
Yeah.
Mahomes on one toe was making plays everywhere.
Have you seen the argument now on about Brady, what they're doing now this week?
What do you mean?
Well, if you're going to talk about how good Brady is with his 10 Super Bowl appearances, you have to say LeBron's the GOAT too.
No.
Appearances.
Now, I saw the ESPN tweet that said, "We're living in greatness. The only 2 athletes in their respective sports to ever make 10 championships." I'm like, okay, well, only one of them has a winning record in those championships.
Bill Russell won 11.
True. Bill Russell won 11.
Jordan won 9. He's 9-0 in championships.
College, 6 in the NBA, 2 golds.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So, I mean, I'll take that. Phil Jackson's got 10. No, he's got 11.
Phil Jackson's the most decorated head coach.
He's got 11.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I think he's got one as a player, too.
So, Brady's made 14 of 21 conference championship games.
Mm-hmm. Listen,
Andy Reid's the only coach that's been to 3 straight
NFC championship
hosted
games.
3, or was it hosted or been to 3 straight?
No. I thought it was hosted because they did it in Philadelphia for the NFC, and now the Chiefs have done it for 3 straight years.
Made 4 straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of that's the jersey and some weird neat stats.
Neat stats, but dude, when they bring that up. I just literally have to look at him and say,
what does that got to do with you?
I look at him and say, okay, I understand that, but which one of them actually has a winning record? Like, they have won more of their appearances than they have lost.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about winners. Mm-hmm. We're talking about winning. I can't look. Like, I want you to think about it. So, Tom Brady is 60% in Super Bowls. LeBron is 40.
Right.
Like, which one is the better percentage?
What you just said right there, true or false?
If this was baseball, they would be taking Tom Brady to bat every single time.
True or false? Do you have a better or worse chance of winning winning the Super Bowl with Tom Brady on the field?
You have a better.
True or false? Do you have a better or worse chance with winning the NBA Finals with LeBron on the court?
If you go by percentages, technically you have a worse chance.
I mean, I don't get it.
Like, I understand people saying he gives you a chance to win. He does, but if you look at his totals, it's just simple math, people. He got 4 out of 10. Brady's got 6 out of 10. The middle mark is 5. So it looks like one is under 500, one is over 500. And we're talking about in a sport that is not dominated by a single player like basketball.
Brady needs 21 other players.
Right.
Actually, 23 counting the punter and the kicker.
And if they're not all great, guess what? He sometimes gets them there still.
I thought you'd think that was weird or funny.
I saw that. I saw the ESPN tweet about that.
They're also bitching about Brady's politics online now.
Who cares?
That's what I don't.
Damn, I thought we were done with politics.
That's why. You know what they're comparing it to?
What?
Kaepernick.
Shut up.
That's just telling you.
I'm going to say this right now.
The Twitter's on crazy.
I'm going to say this right now for people that are talking about comparing that. Politics for Kaepernick and politics for Tom Brady. I hate to tell you. So what? People are going to think that Colin Kaepernick was blackballed. Actually, let's look at the last time Colin Kaepernick has played and his numbers compared to a 43 and 44-year-old Tom Brady's numbers. Last time I checked, this is a production-based league. If you can't play, I'm sorry, you're not playing.
Yep. I concur.
Guys, that's just what pisses me off. They talk about that shit all the time. It's this politics. It's this politics. The last time we saw Colin Kaepernick play on a football field, he was not good.
Right. Well, it's true.
Period.
That's true. People don't.
Period. And I say this all the time about people that talk about, oh, well, Cam Newton's going to get a job, and why would you not pick up Kaepernick and bring these guys in and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, y'all got to remember, the college is producing so many quarterbacks every year. Why would I pay a guy that could be a head case $18 to $20 million when I can get this quarterback coming out of college on the cheap? Well, y'all just don't think like that.
Well, also one thing on the Kaepernick thing is that, do you, as an owner, do you want your own fans booing your own players?
Probably not.
So looking at some of these other things, we got mock drafts, we got other things to talk about. That was one I just skipped over what I was going to ask you. Oh, how about the Chiefs being without Eric Fisher now and their right tackle? They're both tackles.
I still think Mahomes will be able to get the ball out fast enough to his playmakers, but it's not going to be easy. If Todd Bowles has that defense playing like how they did this weekend against Green Bay, I don't think it will be easy. I think this might be a rather close Super Bowl, but I just said it. I think Kansas City's just got too much speed across the board. It's kind of ridiculous. And Andy Reid every week seems to have some new play that just comes up out of nowhere that you have nothing for. He's just so creative.
Dude got some fun plays.
He's just so creative. So I'm serious when I say this. I could see Kansas City back in the Super Bowl for the next 2 to 3 years. I just don't.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. Like, if Buffalo can get their defense figured out and Josh Allen continues to play how he was.
5 to them.
I know. Against Chad Henne for almost the whole second half. So I don't know if it's that close if Mahomes plays. But I will say this:
if you knocked him out, you knocked him out.
Yeah,
Hunter.
You're right. If you get your defense better, absolutely. So I don't know. It'll be difficult, but if you just look at it, it just seems like everybody in the AFC is still playing catch up at this point.
Miles, the Browns hurt Patrick Mahomes worse than they hurt Mason Rudolph. That's all we ever hear about is the assault on Mason Rudolph.
Right.
And not the DDT on Patrick Mahomes.
I'm just saying. It just seems like everybody in the AFC right now is playing catch up to Kansas City. Will they do it? Probably. Eventually, you're right. Kansas City won't be able to keep everybody. But if they can't keep speed, guess what you just go in a draft and do? Draft speed.
I think their play calling helps them out a lot.
Oh, I think it does too.
Because... so with the Eagles, when they won theirs, they had some good play calling, had some great play calling. The misdirection stuff into the end zone, you got to do it. And
that little scoop shovel pass, they've scored on it like 5-6 times this year.
When you've got different, like Chiefs aren't running, Brady's dropping back and just throwing. They're playing. He's just hype me the fucking ball.
Right.
Let's play backyard
Let's just go
football.
Let's go long, and I'll get you the ball.
And the Chiefs are out here drawing up plays in the sand and running. Like, a lot of their stuff's trick plays and not basic plays. Now, some of it's drawn up as far as, like, basic stuff, but a lot of it is trick, and it can get you in trouble against a good defense. I just don't know if the Bucs' defense is elite enough, but again, Hunter, if you ain't got tackles out there.
Who's going to, especially backups, who's going to stop that pass rush from Tampa Bay? It's going to be tough, man. It is. Shaq Barrett is one of the best edge rushers in the league for Tampa Bay. Of course, they've got JPP on one side, Jason Pierre-Paul. Ndamukong Suh can come up the center. So they got guys that can go after and get the quarterback. And I think Devin White might be the best sideline-to-sideline young linebacker in the NFL. So there are some key pieces on Tampa Bay. What people don't realize, too, is Tampa Bay played this weekend and won this game without both their starting safeties.
Right.
One of them got hurt before the game, and one of them got hurt in the game. So they didn't have either starting safety.
That sucks. I can't believe they survived that, actually.
And see, that's where I'm surprised that they had so many opportunities and just went 3 and out for Green Bay. That's why I'm sitting here saying I think even though his numbers looked good, I think Aaron Rodgers may have been a little bit lackluster. I don't know. They didn't take They didn't take the opportunities that were given to them, maybe off of the turnovers that they got. Sometimes, if I'm not mistaken, I heard a stat that said off of 2 of Tom Brady's turnovers, Aaron Rodgers and them went 3 and out. So you got to score off those.
At least get a first down.
Exactly, those are gimmies.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for 54 years, 49 of the top 54 defenses won the Super Bowl.
49 of the top 54 defenses.
Did I say that wrong?
Yes. You mean 49 of the last 54 Super Bowls have been won by a top 12 defense. Right. That's how you meant it.
49 of the past 54 Super Bowls, or all the Super Bowls, how about that?
There you go.
Have been won by top 12 defense. Why 12 and not 10? Well, folks, 12 teams made the playoffs historically. So this year, we got Bucks and Chiefs, Hunter. The streak continues. Bucks are 8, Chiefs 11.
Yeah.
So no matter who wins, 50. And we're going to talk for 2 weeks about Brady and Mahomes.
Yeah.
And the only thing that matters, as Kevin keeps telling you guys, is the defenses. So you've got Tampa at 8, Kansas City at 11. Kansas City giving up 22.6 a game. The Bucks giving up 22.2 a game, so half a point less. So defenses are pretty much even.
I think this is going to be a close game. I really do. I'm not going to sit here and say whether it's going to hit an over or under because I don't know what the lines are going to be at that time, but I think it's going to be close. I could see a line of 60.
I wonder how they come up with that. Is that pure betting, like moving up and down, or is that?
I don't know about the line. I know about spreads will change up and down, but I'm just saying, like, both these teams can score. We just saw both of them get in the 30s. Like a line
Tampa actually has a better scoring offense. Mm-hmm. They're at 31 a game. The Chiefs are at 30 a game, so 1 point better.
That's what I'm saying.
So the Bucks are 1 point better on offense and a half point better on defense.
Then the Bucks might win the Super Bowl.
Bucks, and are at home.
That's what's so crazy. They're playing at home in Tampa Bay.
You know what? I tell you what's going to be weird for them is that I was, they were talking about the preparations and stuff for the teams. And one thing they didn't think about was they're going to shoot those cannons for both teams.
Yeah, that's weird.
So now the Bucks are going to have to sit there and watch the other team. They're going to shoot the cannons when the other team scores now. Because they were going. I'm guessing they were going to. Why wouldn't you? Why would you not be shooting it in the Super Bowl? So now the Bucks are there.
I don't know. It's but I'm looking forward to it. But dang, that's pretty good. If I just guess bet over and over to be 60, both teams are averaging 30. Why not? Why not?
Because both teams are averaging giving up 22. Ooh.
I know, but
so then you add them together. So you take 30 down to 22. What's the middle of that? 26. And add that together. The over-under should be 53.
We'll see.
We're guessing somewhere between 53 and 60 is where we're going.
Yeah, it's only 7-point difference. We'll see. If it hits at like 55, I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. Almost dead center. Cool.
All right, Hunter, let's play one little quick game before we get out of here.
All right.
We're gonna play Best Fit.
Okay.
Not where you think they'll go.
Okay. Best Fit.
If you were the player, no. Free agent.
Okay.
If you were the player,
yes,
and you're the player's agent, Agent Yancey.
Okay. Are you gonna read me the player?
Yes.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Because I was about to say, I don't really know. Only really 2 quarterbacks.
I'm gonna call you up.
Okay.
I'm the player.
Go ahead,
Mr. Yancey.
Yes.
My name is Deshaun Watson.
All right.
I want you to represent me and get me to the best possible destination for me. Where is that at?
It's going to be the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
It's going to be the Miami Dolphins. Do you want me to elaborate, or do you just want me to answer?
If you feel like it. Do you feel like you need to?
They got a top 10 defense.
And all right, with that said, what's the deal that Miami would take or do?
Miami
or / Houston, whatever. What deal you think?
Well, that's right, because Houston has to trade him. He's not just a free agent.
Right.
Houston has to deal him.
And they're only owed
all right,
$10 million.
I'm the general. Okay, so I'm playing agent / general manager right now. That's the agent part of me saying if I was Deshaun Watson, I'm trying to get to Miami. General manager part of me, if I'm Houston, and I understand that Deshaun would like us to try and get him to Miami, I'm picking the phone up and I'm calling Miami. I said, look, you have a top 10 defense last year. Some would say top 5 for a majority of the year.
They were number 1 to the last week of the season, or 2 weeks.
Yeah. Are you sold on Tua? Or are you going to have this 2-quarterback system again next year with him and Fitzpatrick? Because if you're not, I've got a known commodity as a top 10 quarterback right now that I can trade you for Tua and your 3rd pick that you actually got from us. So I would trade you Deshaun Watson for Tua and this 3rd pick.
What did I see? The reports were that he wants the Jets one.
I read somewhere that said that might be a lie.
Yeah.
Because think about it. The Jets have had the worst record in the NFL since he's got there.
The only reason you want to go to Jets is because you want to play with the coach
in New York
market.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only
Ain't
reason.
nothing wrong with Miami either.
No, if I want to play, I want to play in Miami.
Right. I'd like to play in Miami.
Under no circumstances would I want to be in New York City.
With the Jets.
I live in North Carolina. Under no circumstances do I want to be anywhere north of North Carolina.
Right. No.
Well,
But if I was the Texans, that's what I would call and say, listen, Miami, I will send you a known commodity. Okay? We're not in the same division, so we don't have to worry about conflicting there. Known commodity in Deshaun Watson. We'll take Tua off your hands, but we would also like you to throw in the 3rd pick. That pick originally was supposed to be ours.
All right. You're my agent, and I'm Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
Where should I go, Mr. Agent?
Washington.
All right. With that said, convince me Washington over New England.
Washington's got a top 10 defense.
Patriots do too.
Washington has not an overbearing coach. They have Ron Rivera instead of Bill Belichick.
Okay. I'm going to reword that. The Patriots have Bill Belichick. who, by all accounts, is a better defensive coach than Ron Rivera.
When you come to Washington, you also have Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Chris Sims, and actual weapons to throw to, and not the garbage that New England has for you to try and beat Tom Brady with.
Right. Then my next question is...
Now, I would also say this. Do you want to be the guy that follows in the footsteps of Tom Brady?
He isn't. He's following the footsteps of Cam Newton.
No. Whoever takes over that position...
in the footsteps of Cam Newton.
Whoever takes over this position with New England will always... It's the same deal when people go out and try and follow the statues that's out in front of Indianapolis, statues out in front of Denver. You've always got these guys to live up to. Washington ain't got a statue of a quarterback out front.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best quarterbacks they have actually is in-house. Doug Williams. He's part of the team. So, do you want to go, and seriously, do you want to go to New England with no offensive weapons? And I know Cam Newton was just there, but you would still be chasing the ghost and the shadow of Tom Brady.
Okay.
Or you could come to Washington, who's got a young core of good players on both sides of the ball, and you could be you could arguably be one of the best quarterbacks they've ever had.
All right. A couple of places are weird because they don't.
But you could also say the same thing. You don't want to talk about,
just say yes or no good fits.
If you don't want to talk about New England or Washington for Stafford, you say, I hear San Francisco's getting rid of Garoppolo.
You know what they ought to do? Trade each other for each other.
Trade Stafford for Garoppolo?
Yep. No. Stafford for Watson. Like, y'all bitching about being here.
All right.
Go there.
You're going to the Texans,
See how
Watson.
bad you like that?
Watson, you're going to Detroit.
Right. All right. Yes or no good fits also for Stafford. Indy.
Yes.
Miami.
Yes. Anywhere you say, I'm going to say yes for Stafford because he's that talented. He's just been wasted.
Also think about that team, too. When I say good spot, I mean, would that team want him, too?
Mm-hmm.
Panthers. No,
yeah. I don't think they'd want him if they have a shot at Watson.
They had to. I don't think they got a shot at anybody. I think they're going to be sitting there with Teddy Bridgewater next year, and like it or not.
I think they draft one.
They paid him $20 million.
Oh, no.
They might draft somebody.
They might draft.
San Francisco.
Yes.
Rams.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh, that's one thing nobody's thinking
because
about.
then they don't have to just be a play action team that Goff does. I mean, they
They've
could
already
drop
got
back
the
and
money
pass.
and their quarterback slotted too.
Mm-hmm.
So like that money is already slotted to go to Goff. Stafford just be in a spot. And Denver, of course.
Oh yeah, John Elway would love to get a veteran to come in and play.
Is there anywhere for Cam Newton to have a job?
No.
Is there a spot for? All right, if you're Garoppolo, are you just straight back to New England, or are you going to? What about Chicago? What do they do?
I think Garoppolo is just a little bit of a better throwing Trubisky. I think he can be mobile if he needs to be mobile, but I think Trubisky's a better runner. If you combined both of them, I think you'd have a pretty damn good quarterback.
Let's count. Could possibly have a quarterback. What did we do? 13 the other day.
Yeah, it was like 13 to 15.
Miami, New England, the Jets, Cowboys, Eagles, Washington. Nobody in the AFC North probably. Bears, Lions, Packers. Let's talk about that a second, real quick. Did you see how he's talking?
Yeah,
I don't know where I'm gonna be.
He said, basically saying it's all in review.
When the Lions said that they were going to get rid of, or Stafford's going to move, the first thing I thought was Justin Fields is going to be a line. I don't know why. I didn't know where they drafted. I don't know why. I just said Justin Fields is going to be a Detroit line. And then I look
top 10 pick.
And then I look in the CBS mock draft. Justin Fields, number 7, Detroit Lions. That's the first thing I thought. I haven't looked at.
Well, you know who picks right after the Lions?
They got in front of them. They got Zach Wilson going to the Eagles.
I know, but you know who picks
And
right
then
after him?
The Panthers are at 8. They've got Trey Lance,
quarterback. That's what I thought. I thought Justin Fields was going to go to the Panthers, but
I think Lance is the sneaky one in this draft.
he probably is.
I think he didn't throw a pick in like
He probably is.
40 touchdowns and no picks. No picks.
About Green Bay and Tom, or not Tom, Aaron. Listen, that San Francisco opening's coming up.
You think that's where he wants to be?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I can buy that.
Do you know why? It's because that's where he thought he was going to get drafted, but they took Alex Smith instead. That was the same draft they took Alex Smith.
Does he hate him or want to play for him? He's from California.
He's from California.
But randoms.
But listen, here's the thing. It might be one of those love-hates. He hates that they passed over him because he always.
But he don't hate the organization.
But he doesn't. But he would. But if you give him the opportunity, he'd take it in a heartbeat.
Well, if you're Green Bay, you obviously don't want to trade him to the NFC if you can.
No, he's gonna wreak havoc.
Right.
You put him with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan was winning games with C.J. Beathard.
So let's say then what are Rodgers' possibilities then in the AFC? New England.
Is Aaron Rodgers a free agent or are they trading him?
No, he's not. He's got like 1 year left. I think 1 or 2 years left on his deal. It'd have to be a trade. That's why he said he didn't know he didn't know if they're going to cut him or if he's going to get his sign and trade or what.
If I'm Rodgers, the place I want to go is Indianapolis. If I don't want to, if I know my organization is not going to trade me in the NFC,
that's your best chance to win.
If you were going to be traded,
Miami.
if they said they would trade you to an NFC team, I would say San Francisco. If not, I'm trying to go either Indianapolis. You make a good point in Miami because they've got 2 solid defenses.
How mad would you be if he said, "I just want to be a Dallas Cowboy"?
I'd be pissed as shit. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. But if you don't think Jerry doesn't get a whiff of that, he doesn't roll with it and cut ties with Dak completely. There's no reason they've gone this long going back and forth with Dak Prescott if they weren't sold.
You know
on
what
him.
these NFL seasons like? It's almost like a season. Let me try to think of maybe Big Brother or something to that nature, to where you've got 16, 20 teams. You got 15 teams. No, we'll put it this way. You got 10 teams in serious relationships. Then you got 10 that are in pretty decent relationships, but if a supermodel walked up to me and wanted to give it to me, I might have to say yes. Which I mean by that, if Deshaun Watson says trade me to the Cleveland Browns,
you're going to do it.
Or are the Browns not going to do it?
Yes, you're going to do it.
So that's what I mean. Like, Cleveland's got a boyfriend. He's cute.
Right.
He can take care of me. He's he's got a nice steady job. But he's not Deshaun Watson. So and then you got the other third of the league, which we named 13, whatever, that are just straight up cheating on their girlfriends.
They're just like, we would do anything.
Well, they've dumped 4 or 5 of them. About 3 or 4 of them's already been told and dumped. They know it's coming. Then 5 of them are like, our relationship's probably on the brink.
Right.
And then there's 5 are like, either he's gonna give me a ring tomorrow or he's gonna break up with me. I don't know.
I just don't know.
It's one of those relationships where I'm either getting the ring or I'm getting dumped.
No in between. I got to try and lock this in
Do
somehow.
you follow what I'm trying to say?
No, I know what you're saying. Listen, there are teams that are more committed to their quarterback than others.
Right.
Yes, 100%. And there are some of those that are happy right now, but they know that they could be a whole lot happier. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There you go. That's it. That is
even
the NFL.
The quarterbacks and the teams.
Both of them. Right. Both of them. Yes. Yeah. Just ask Tom Brady. He was happy, or at least he was. Let's put it this way: he was content.
He was in a good marriage.
He had settled.
Yeah. Settled.
And then he was like, you know what? I technically can do better.
Did you say Tom Brady settled with 6 rings and Giselle?
I settled. I
settled with Giselle Bunch.
I settled, but I can do better. And so guess what? Now he went down and has this nice, fun toys. Still has Giselle and lives in Tampa. Come on now. You went from Foxborough, freezing cold underneath Bill Belichick, to down in Tampa, loosey-goosey BA, and now, first of all, he's still married to Giselle during all of this, okay? And now you're on your way to another Super Bowl. I mean, come on.
All right, so final thoughts. Could JP have picked most of the championships this year?
Could he?
Not him specifically. You know, he's kind of...
He's
so far. I'm talking a regular basic, like if you just ask somebody...
Say the name.
Name it. I put it this way. If you ask a 10-year-old who knew about sports, could he have named Bucks versus Chiefs, Bama versus Clemson, Dodgers might make the championship, and the Lakers might make the championship?
Yeah, 100%.
A 10 to 12-year-old kid that follows sports could pick 6
Like, I hate to put it this way.
Nobody's picking Miami Heat, obviously.
Like, that's why I'm saying, I hate to put it this way, but every year, if you were to ask someone who's making, except this year, who's making college basketball Final Four, one of them's going to say Duke.
Right.
Like, it's the name. That's just the name.
You could say the Blue Bloods and get one of them right.
You could get one. You could probably get 50% of them right. You could probably get 2 out of the 4.
Yeah, that's a lot. You'd be at least
Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, or Duke.
Well, none of them's making it this year.
None of them.
That's why I'm like, I don't want to go too.
I'm just saying.
At least get one.
Just saying. Yes, you could. If you're talking to nobody if you're talking to somebody who is not a huge sports aficionado, but they know the big brands, they could have got them right.
I know it's blasphemy for someone on a sports talk show to say this, but we wasted a shitload of time this past year talking about sports.
Yeah.
And we could have all closed our eyes and said, Bama Clemson, don't talk to me about college football for 6 months.
Nope.
And y'all, I could stay here and watch y'all and just hand on my hand, just listening.
We were close.
I could have been JP for a year and just let y'all talk every Saturday and whatever, and none of it mattered. Let's break down the Nuggets and Clippers. What the fuck for? Let's talk about Tar Heels and Duke this year.
Why?
Like, seriously,
let's talk about how the Buffalo is having a great year.
No matter what happens.
Doesn't matter. The Chiefs and Bucks got there. Tom Brady's back.
Right. No matter what happens, Brady, LeBron, and everyone from LA are in the finals.
Well, now Mahomes.
And my homeboy.
I love it, though. I love watching him play. He's fun.
You think they'll get worse when Bieniemy leaves?
No. Because if I'm not mistaken, Bieniemy's not the offensive play caller still.
I thought he was the play caller.
I think Andy Reid still does a lot of the play calling. May or may not.
Oh, okay.
Or they could be 50-50, but if that's the case, I still think they're fine if Bieniemy goes.
Okay.
I know Houston's doing a second interview with him and somebody else, so. But Deshaun Watson did come out and say, doesn't matter who they hire at the head coaching position, I'm done.
Well, bye, Deshaun.
Well.
I want to thank everybody for watching Shock Joxx. We're gonna talk more about Saturday with Terry and Tom here, but we didn't say goodbye to Hank Aaron this weekend.
Yeah.
Hank Aaron passed away. The Hammer and Hank, home run king. Oh, we'll see you guys Wednesday live, 2 o'clock. We've got high school basketball Friday night, of course, on KTC, and Saturday Sports Talks, Saturday 8 a.m. Kevin Hastings for Hunter Yancey and everybody else. KTCBroadcasting.com.